that can help you send transactions from your contract address, order from your smart contract, and then get it executed on chain, either on Basename or Base mainnet. Another thing, you can also go ahead and integrate various DeFi functionalities. And just for example, we can talk about token swaps, we can talk about yield farming functionalities. Probably you want to integrate Morpho, you want to integrate ways in which guys can be lending each other on chain. Then you're utilizing Morpho APIs for doing that. If you're building an application that allows people to trade coins, for example, utilizing your APIs for doing that, you can easily go ahead and build a basic MVP simply using OnchainKit for that specific use case. Another really important functionality that I've seen, or rather one big advantage that I've also seen with OnchainKit and that I've been utilizing for the longest, even for my product Minisend, is the ability to have various commerce capabilities. So for this particular use case, the most immediate component that I'd easily refer to is BasePay. So with BasePay, you get a one-time checkout USDC option. So users on your platform can be onboarded easily to crypto without them necessarily having like lots of configurations from either from their wallet or from any point. If they are just folks who just go ahead into e-commerce platforms, they just want to shop online. So you can just add a direct checkout option using BasePay, and then your business gets to receive USDC payments using USDC on Base, of course. So with merchants accepting USDC, there's also lots of benefits that come from that. One, you can either hold the USDC that you get from your users or from your customers or your website, or you can go ahead and lend it on Coinbase and then get a 10% interest on whatever you lend outside. For holding USDC, you get a 4.1 APY for each USDC that you hold on Base. At the moment, also, if you hold USDC on your Fakasta wallet, you get a 1% interest on that every week for the next 10 weeks. So they sort of like disintegrated this to happen in like 10 weeks so that we have like 10%. So that's just a quick intro of why I find OnchainKit important and why each and every builder, each and every developer at least should find a way to integrate at least one of the OnchainKit components into their projects. Yes. So let's just get into it and then at least create a basic project that utilizes OnchainKit, see how the various components work. And even if it's a matter of building on top of what's there, we can easily now do that as from tomorrow, because for every session, for every technical setup or demo that we create, we push them to like our Basis African GitHub repo so that everyone can have access to them at their own time. So if you feel like whatever we've done today, there's a particular bit that you also want to build on top of, please feel free to go ahead and just clone the repo or just create a PR on whatever you've built, and then we'll be able to review it and merge it to the main branch for everyone to also get to benefit from it. Yes, so one key thing that I'd love us to first of all do before any other thing is to make sure that we have a CDP profile. So if you don't, please use this link to create a profile on Coinbase Developer Platform. And then afterwards, we'll go ahead and now pick the API keys that we need for OnchainKit functionality to be up. Yes, so let me drop the link in the chat right now. So you can just use this link that I'm dropping in the chat right now to create a profile on CDP. And then afterwards, just getting back to the documentation and also clarifying on the bit that I was talking about yesterday. We are actually here to inform the team that more, yeah, okay, no problem. Yeah, for the OnchainKit API, it's not that much direct with regards to getting it on the dashboard. So we'll be able to inform the team about that issue. So the fastest way to get to the dashboard, if you already have a CDP account, is just click on this link. You can see we have some set of CLI instructions on what you should be doing. So just click on this link, right click on it, and then open it on a new tab if you already have your CDP already set up. Then if I share this tab now, you'll be able to see now my OnchainKit API key being shown under the product section /OnchainKit. So you can see this is where mine is located. So I'm not sure if I'm the one getting it wrong, but for all the drop downs that are here, I didn't get to see one for products. So that's something that we can easily go ahead and contribute to after this. Yes, so once you have like a CDP API key, go ahead and create a folder. Create a folder if you're using Windows, if you're using Linux, if you're using Mac OS, just create a folder probably on your desktop, and then open it with your preferred IDE, and then or rather code editor. So once you've done that, there's a set of commands that we'll be able to execute so that we install Next.js and we install it together with OnchainKit just to make this easier. And then at some point, I'll also be able to give us a couple of hints on how you can easily vibe code a mini app or easily vibe code an app that utilizes OnchainKit. So another cool feature, another cool bit of OnchainKit is with OnchainKit, you can easily also use it with MiniKit, which is basically a framework for creating mini apps. So instead of going ahead and utilizing Fast SDK for creating mini apps, you can easily use MiniKit, which has got pre-built components, it has got pre-built functionalities, and even the project structure itself is really fast forward. So just to increase or save your time with regards to shipping and shipping quality mini apps on base and get rewarded for doing that, I'd really prefer that you use MiniKit for doing the same. Yeah. So let me go ahead and share my window that has got my terminal already up. So you can use Cursor, you can use VS Code, you can use Sublime Text, any sort of IDE that you're comfortable with. So here is mine. I'd already begun like doing a basic setup of OnchainKit, just a demo project. Okay, show my screen anyway. Yes. So let me just zoom in a little bit so that it's much clearer. So at this point, I had already executed the first command, which is npx create -onchain. So this is basically just an npm library command that Base has created specifically to help builders utilize OnchainKit. So if you're keen enough on what's there on the Base documentation that we began with, docs.base.org, and then go ahead and click on the tab on OnchainKit, and then under it, check on the quick start guide. So there are two options. One, you can use the first command, which installs the OnchainKit setup globally in your directory that you're working on, or you can go ahead and just install it manually. If probably you have like already a project already set up, you don't want to like mess up your dependencies and have peer conflicts while running the application. What you need to do is just install it manually via the command that's been highlighted on the documentation, the second bit, and then you just go ahead and now utilize the various components that we'll be discussing in a few. Yeah, so you can see I already set up, or rather declared my project name, so mini demo. My directory over here is the name is mini demo as well. And then it's now asking me, this is actually really cool, because instead of doing this manually the other way around of creating a .env file, and then you have to add all this manually, go back to CDP and then paste this on your .env file. All you need to do is just with this already there, and if you followed the first instruction that we had before, that was creating a profile, and then after creating a profile, clicking on the quick start guide for CDP, you'll be directed, or rather redirected, to where your OnchainKit API key is. For example, for mine, I just shared my screen before. Once you copy that, then just come over. It won't even be visible, actually. Just come, then right click, and then paste it. So it's automatically hashed for security purposes, because with this, if someone gets hold of this, they can be able to utilize some of your credits on ChainKit. You'd be getting data that actually doesn't belong to you. I'll also show you at the end of how I've been utilizing on ChainKit components and even BasePay, and how the analytics look like. Folks have been even using some on ramping side of it to even help fund their wallets for Minicent. So just hit enter. Once you hit on enter, you can just say yes for this, because it's something that's still being researched. It's being reiterated on every single day. We're always trying to improve the experience for builders. So just hit yes. And then once that's up, you'll get even instructions on how to proceed afterwards. So the first thing is just to cd into mini demo, or the name of your project or your directory. After seeding into that, you can just run npm I or npm install. For myself, I'll use npm. Yeah, even for dependency, these are called they're package managers. So for npm is one of the package managers that I know of, but npm is normally really heavy, so it has got lots of contents that loads up your computer RAM. So the best way, or rather my preferred dependency package managers normally is pnpm. So pnpm has got a way in which, instead of let's say I want to create another project that's utilizing OnchainKit, I'll have to run the installation afresh for that particular project. So what happens with pnpm is, for pnpm, it utilizes the already downloaded dependencies that you have locally on your machine, and all it does is just break that into various sort of submodules that gets to serve all the various directories or the various projects that you have. So that means it's saving you one space. Secondly, it's also saving you a lot of time with regards to waiting for the dependencies to fully install. Yeah, and then of course, with regards to saving your computer RAM, saving the performance of your computer as well, that's also guaranteed. So you can use npm, you can use pnpm, you can use also yarn to do this as well. So let's wait for it to do the dependency installation. Meanwhile, I can check 2 questions. If someone is stuck somewhere, someone is probably having difficulty accessing CDP, please let me know so that we see how to help out. Any question? Okay, awesome. Yeah, so I just want to, as we wait for this to continue doing the basic installation, we can still touch on a few couple of instructions, a few couple of key features that are there in the documentation that probably some of us are not aware about. So we are done with the quick start guide. For the manual installation that I was mentioning the other time, is you'd be like targeting a specific dependency on the Coinbase npm library. So, for example, this one is directly involved with WAGMI VM and React DOM, and specifically now this will only work if you want to utilize OnchainKit. And afterwards, there's some couple of instructions as well. So you can use PNPM, you can use YARN, just as we had mentioned. Another thing is once you have the dependencies installed, OnchainKit components need basic styling, like a base styling to look correct and to follow the base brand guidelines that are also clearly outlined in the base brand guideline in the base documentation as well. So you can just also visit that so that at least when you're building your apps, they also follow what base recommends with regards to branding. So after that, there is one global.css file that we'll get to see after the installation is done. Where is it located? How can you modify it? Where there's now how do these various OnchainKit components require proper styling so that you see different colors, you see different functionalities on the UI. Yeah, another key bit of OnchainKit that without this, actually the setup won't work. So on your layout file, you have to wrap your children, or rather the whole body of your application, using the OnchainKitProvider. So with the OnchainKitProvider one, you'd be importing an OnchainKitProvider. But you'd be importing base from WAGMI/chains, and if you're using Vim, you'd be importing base from VM/chains. And another thing is you have to declare that file as to be utilized on the client side. So if you don't have this declaration, then that means it won't be rendered fast on the UI side of things. Also, other files won't be able to consume that basic setup that you've done. So you make sure you have that already set up, or just go ahead and just copy this exactly and then paste it on your layout file just to be on the safe side. Also, just to go ahead and explain what's happening here is, of course, we have to declare the chain that we are on. So if you say base, then that's basically base mainnet. You can go ahead and also just beside this, just within the braces, the curly braces, you can just see base epolia. For the API key parameter, it's directly refers to your .env file, how you've named your API, your OnchainKit API key variable. So it will directly go ahead and just query that. For the mode, this is basically how your application will look like. You want it to be like in auto, so all these various things will be available. The light, dark will be available. How do you want it to appear? You want it to appear as a model or as a drawer? How do you want the wallet to be utilized? Do you want it to be only appear as a smart wallet only, or you want it to be an externally owned account, which is now possible using base accounts as well, which we'll be covering through the 10-day builder bootcamp, probably from tomorrow, the day after tomorrow. And yeah, a basic knowledge of HTML is also really important with regards to understanding React and even React Native as well. So basically, this is what I was talking about: wrapping the whole body of your site, or basically wrapping your whole children with your OnchainKitProvider, and then you get to render it on your front end. You have to, for a Next.js setup, I'd always prefer Next.js because Next.js is fast. It's easy to understand the project directories. It's easy to also modify. And for websites that are built using Next.js, they're normally easily scalable as well. Yeah, for Vite, you just need to have a .env file. So it's only the naming convention that's a little bit different. Other frameworks that you can also use, let me see. Yeah, actually, for most React frameworks, if it's Next, if it's Vue, you can always follow the same procedure. So let's check what's happening on our project. Let me just get back to the window. Or rather, I can just share my whole screen as well. That will be easier. Okay. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Let's see what's happening now. Okay, okay. Yeah. So ideally we have like our dependencies already, our packages already installed. So you can go ahead. I normally love working on like a clean terminal. So just say clear for all that to clear out. Um, so this is now the interesting bit where now you get to see how the project directory looks like, how you can go ahead and now add a few add-ons, where and how to do that. So with this basic setup already, we have a global.css file, which is basically this file will be handling all the stylings that we need with regards to changing how the OnchainKit model looks like, how if we'll be using like externally old accounts or just a drawer, how would that look like. For the layout file, basically this gives this gives an explanation of the kind of fonts that you're utilizing through your project. So you can see, for example, for this particular project, we have some subsets already mentioned. Like, for example, we have source code pro. These are just basically some font classes. We're, of course, utilizing Next. So we'll be using the Next way of naming our metadata contents. Metadata basically is like information about a particular website. So if it's an OnchainKit component website, like it provides information about how to utilize OnchainKit. How does it appear on Twitter? How does it appear on LinkedIn? How does it appear on all those other sites? And then how does now Google use this to index your website for people or for people who want to have more information or learn more about OnchainKit? So that's the importance of metadata. Um, yeah, so ideally, you'll have to also have a basic understanding of how React works. If this is your first time, at least like setting up a React project, please like have some time.
We notice Chris has dropped from the call, so we can give him a few minutes. He should be back in a few.
Can you still hear me? Okay, awesome, awesome.
Yes, you should be good now.
Yeah, okay, no problem. Let me just share my screen one more time so that we continue. Okay. Okay. Yes. So as I was saying, we have like the wallet component. So just check through the base documentation. Probably, Nelly, you can just drop the link to that as I continue like explaining the various bits of the code. So under the OnchainKit components, we have the wallet component, which renders the wallet address of the user. After that, um, all these divs that you now see at this point is basically now with matter styling, with matters now naming of the various hashtags. Like for example, we'll be seeing like some text written on ChainKit. So basically, it's a H1 class name that gives the developer access. So you can just even change this to a name like mini demo. Like now, for example, for our project, just say mini demo. That's really up. Yeah, you can get to see we have like some paragraph bits of our website also being like highlighted at this point. So basically, a whole introduction or rather basic knowledge of React is needed for you to at least interact with most of the components from OnchainKit. And for the root provider.tsx, this is now the OnchainKit provider bit that we were discussing early before we went to now explain the various bits of our code. So I think this is the most important bit of now everything. This is now where you get to also import the various dependencies that are needed for you to call or query OnchainKit from your backend. So for example, you can see for us, we named like this file as root provider.tsx. So in the root provider.tsx, we have the children and we have the children at some point now being rendered as a return call. And on the return function, we have the OnchainKit provider having the API key, which is needed by CDP to authorize that call from your application. And then we've also declared that we are interacting with this application on actually base mainnet. So if you see the contents of that parameter, you can see we have various addresses being called under this function. You can see we have even the basescan.org RPC URL. So that means we'll be interacting with tokens, we'll be interacting with assets on mainnet. So be sure to have this set to base polyar if you'll be using testnet transactions to like test how OnchainKit works. And then for the appearance that we also mentioned directly from the docs, you can tweak this to either light, just tweak it to light. You'll have it change from the UI side of things. The display, if you want it to be model or drawer, you'll get to see that also changing on the UI. And also for the last bit of things that we also mentioned a few minutes ago was wrapping our children with the OnchainKit provider. So you can see this is actually flowing all the way up from this point all the way downwards. So you need to wrap your children with OnchainKit provider for it to render on your front end. Yes. For the public folder, this is basically just an SVG file. This is where you store all the images that you need to appear on the UI. You want like some images for your mini app. You want images, let's say you have the base logo, the square logo for base app. You want it to appear at some point, even through like when a user clicks the connect wallet button, what do they see first? You can add like an SVG file or a PNG file under the public directory, and then get to see it now rendering on your front end. For the .env file, this is where you get to declare or just store all the important and confidential API keys that you get. If you're having like API keys from Morpho, API keys from Etherscan, API keys from Alchemy, even, and if it's even a Web2 project, you have like Superbase inside, you have Base inside, you have Alchemy inside. This is the place to store all those configuration files or the API keys. For the git ignore file, So, for example, we mentioned before that the .env file carries all the confidential API keys that are not to be shared by anyone outside your team or anyone basically that you don't trust. So you don't have to, or you actually, it's advisable for you not to commit that to your GitHub. Even though GitHub nowadays have got like a way in which they can detect if you've pushed a confidential API key or just something confidential to GitHub, please don't do that because it will make you highly vulnerable to attacks. So make sure that you have your API key stored securely. And with regards to pushing to GitHub, so let's say, let me just run some few commands. Let's say, let me run a git status, but ideally we haven't created like any repo. So there's no Git repository for this particular project. So let me say git init. Yeah, so we've already like created a repository, a local repo, that is. So let's say we now want to create a branch -b main. Okay. Git branch dash. Let's see. Yeah, so I've renamed like, or rather, I've created a branch main where we'll be able to like now push everything that we've created so far for this project. So as you can see, they've all been marked green because they are now untracked. So they are now untracked files. So if you say now git status, you can see all of them now being actually outputted in the terminal as untracked files. So one of the key things that now you have to do, or you have to make sure that is already in place in your gitignore file, is have the .env file properly stored in the gitignore. It's actually easy to use. Most of the time, you don't even have to even include the stereo. Just say .env, just write it inside there. It won't be pushed. Yeah, you can even go ahead and now create a commit. If I was to be pushing this now to our Basis African repo, we'd easily do that. But quickly, I want to go ahead and go back to the documentation because there's actually some bit that I promised to also touch on. That is the wallet island bit that allows you to but meanwhile, even as we do that, I'm also running this locally so that we see how OnchainKit also works locally. Yeah, so just wanted to touch a few things on the wallet island bit as we wait for our project to run locally, and then I share my screen back to how that looks and why we are so much bullish on OnchainKit. Yes, so if you can go to the components tab and just first of all check out wallets. Under wallets, check out what we have under wallet island. So with wallet island, you get to have your users get to view the number of tokens that they have from their wallet. They can also go ahead and swap from your application without leaving your app. They can also go ahead and fund their wallets without leaving applications as well. So if you can just follow up keenly on what's happening here, is there's a QR code, there's a link to buy crypto with fiat, but this doesn't actually operate with in Kenya and even in Ethiopia, probably for the larger bits of Eastern Africa. A swap interface, a user's token portfolio. So this is where I was talking about. It lists all the tokens under that address. A button that moves anywhere on the screen, so you can just render it anywhere, and then when the user clicks on it, it just pops up with all those contents. And then a quick start would be just calling all these functions. So the wallet advanced defaults allows you to like just render that or anchor the screen like wallet component on the UI, and then the user gets to see what is actually being demoed at this particular bit of the screen. So if you can look into this keenly, you can see once the user taps onto that, it asks for the Coinbase wallet, it's approved. Once it's approved, they can see their wallet balance, they can be able to buy, swap, or check the list of tokens under their wallet. Yeah. So our project is successfully compiled. So I just want to run it now locally so that we get to see how that looks like. It's running on localhost 3000. Okay, present something else. Entire screen. Yeah, so the project has successfully compiled, and right now it's being built on localhost 3000. So the port is 3000. So you can always change the port at any time if it's 3001, if it's 3002. If any of the ports is being utilized by another project, you can always use like another port to check out what's happening. So being that I've just called it now from the browser side, it's trying to like do the compilation afresh so that we see what's happening on the UI. Let's get to see if this will be possible. If not, you can just kill it with Control Z, clear this. Also kill whatever is happening there, get back, kill the terminal, get it back. npm run dev again. Should be okay. Let's see. You have okay. Let's see into then run npm run dev. So my advice would be once it's been able to like show you the port where your application is running on, just go ahead and launch it concurrently with the browser. And then after doing that, both will actually compile at the same time. Not unless you have something also running on the other side. Let's see how this goes right now. It shouldn't be like retrying all the time. Okay. I can just stage it. But I don't think Git can even influence this. Git cannot be the reason. Okay, let me just take them. So they've been staked. Just clear that stranded status again. Okay, so it's now we're now just remaining to like now push whatever we have. But ideally, let's see if we can refresh and then have it compiled. Meanwhile, I can be like taking any questions if there is. This is actually one of the last bits of the presentation, and then just show you guys how you can just tap into like each of the components that are being offered by OnchainKit and see how they render on the front end. Okay. It's actually taking some time. It should not be doing that. Okay.
So, quick announcement. So, please let's not share the link to this call online. So I see Yano has shared the Google Meet link. So we don't want that to avoid, random people joining the call and sharing weird things, as it happens with Zoom bombing. So if you can, please avoid doing that. If you want to share a link, share the Luma link so that we know who is joining.
Yeah, that's actually true. So if you want to share like whatever is happening on the call, use the Luma link for folks to join, because for X, we have like lots of people who are just like waiting on people to share like unprotected links. They join your calls, spam it like every single time, every now and again. You guys will just have like really rough time seeing here. So just use the Luma link. Just use the Luma link for security. Yeah. Mhm. Man. Mhm. Okay. Something's coming up. I think there's one of my projects which is running on another port. Let me just check and kill it. It's actually retrying every now and again, which is not ideal. Mhm. Anyone with any question that probably they feel like we should be touching on? Something is still not yet clear. You want clarification on something that you've mentioned? Please just unmute your mic and then let us know about it.
Go ahead, Tiffany.
Okay, my question is on so once I create a React app, then I go and install the OnchainKit, or how does this work? And is it okay if I already have code content, like I've already created a React app and it already has content, like it's a whole system. Can I still like convert it into a mini app?
Yes. Nelly, you wanna pick that one?
Yeah. I'll be happy to do that. So you have, if you have an existing React app and you want to convert it into a mini app, yes, you can do that easily by just wrapping it with the minikit provider. But for the on-chain kit, let me just confirm. I'm not sure you can wrap it. Maybe you can wrap it in the on-chain kit provider, maybe. But for the mini app, it's pretty straightforward. You can wrap it in the minikit provider and just do some very minor adjustments to your React app, and it will be working. Let me just drop the link in the chat. And then, yeah, let me just confirm if you can convert an already existing, if you can wrap your already existing React app with OnchainKit, or maybe you'd have to start all over again. But let me drop the link to the mini kit.
Yeah. So ideally, what happens is, yes, you can be having like an already built project, and you're thinking about how can you go ahead and then just have OnchainKit also being utilized as part of um, the base developer tools that you find, or that you'd want like your users to utilize. So that will actually work. It will actually work out using the second installation method that we actually mentioned, which was here. So what you'll now do is don't create a project from scratch. Don't use the npx command. Install the specific dependencies that you need, which is the that's here, which is this one. So on the manual, just come to the base documentation and then click on the manual installation tab. And then with this particular command, this is all you need. And then after doing that, make sure you set up like OnchainKit on your layout file using this block of code. Afterwards, add your OnchainKit API key as part of your .env.local file or just your .env file. After doing that, the environment variables will be loaded. And then now you can begin utilizing the various components that we have. Now, for example, on the wallet side of things, there is a wallet dropdown. So with this wallet dropdown, the user can be able to see their base name, a wallet dropdown disconnect, a wallet dropdown fund link. Now that I can see we can't run this on local, I don't know why it keeps on retrying. I'll just share what I have on Minisend for the purposes of the demonstration that we actually do have like right now. Is this the main reason? Let me see. Yeah, so there's another project that's utilizing this actually. So that aside, let me just head on to minisend.xyz. If you have a base name, just click on Connect Wallet. Just click on Connect Wallet. The page is loading up. It's already up. So you can see I used it for like wallet connections on Minisend. Just connect your wallet and then say Coinbase wallet. Then once it's up, the user will, one, be able to see their base name. Two, they'll be able to see the list of tokens under their wallet or that they own. Basically, for the documentation, they say the user's portfolio. So they'll be able to see every single coin token that they have. Another thing is you'll be able to swap any token. Let's say you want to swap, let's say Zora to ETH. So though approximating this will be a huge challenge, let me talk about ETH. Let me talk about ETH. So this one leads to USDC, and then this other one talk about ETH. So let me see if we have like enough ETH we can swap to USDC. Yes, we do. So we can now swap like 0.003 ETH all the way to USDC, and then even now swap it to now Kenyan shilling or Nigerian naira. Basically, it's just conversion on the back end using Minisend. So let's say swap. So OnchainKit triggers that event. Like there's an event that's now created, and then that event triggers base account for the user to now confirm that transaction from their wallet. Once the user gets to confirm that, then the transaction now proceeds on chain, and then the swap activity or the swap events now succeeds. So I'll just go ahead and say confirm, then use my passkey for the authentication. And then after that's actually done, the swap is now in progress. You can see the swapping is in progress at the moment, and you can see it's now successful, and we can even view this on Basename and confirm whether that transaction is valid. So for anyone just coming in from Web2, trying out, just want to figure out how things work in Web3. So with the blockchain, everything is verifiable on chain. Every single activity, every single address, every single transaction that you do, it's public and verifiable. So every single chain has got a way in which you can verify transactions on their network. So for example, now with Base, we have Basename, which allows you to scan every transaction on mainnet and just confirm whether it's a valid transaction or whether it went through, see the origin, see who did it, and see the time it took probably for a block confirmation to happen, and for the various timestamps that happen, the various also activities that have been happening under that particular address. So for example, you can see this is actually a successful transaction. There is the timestamp which talks about this happening like 9 seconds ago, And then Uniswap actually facilitated this swap functionality for us to swap 0.003 ETH all the way to US 11 USDC. It was also like Uniswap bring that for us in the backend. Yeah, so back to like our various components. So that is the swapping functionality that I was talking about. So basically, this is Wallet Island now in action. And then for the funding functionality, like you do realize that the buy button is not active. Why? You can't actually buy crypto using fiat at the moment for Coinbase wallet in Kenya. So that's like a compliance, a regulation, sorry, like issue. So what I did was use a funding link. So if you check what's highlighted here under the fund drop down, there's the fund button. So with this fund button, you can go ahead and create a funding link for your users to easily just on ramp, or rather just load their wallet with some funds. If it's USDC, if it's ETH, they can easily just add some funds to their wallet using the funding link. So there's the fund button, there's the fund card and all that. But now for this functionality, let me just click on this so that you see what's happening. So there's the fund button that now triggers an event in the backend that now triggers the user to confirm their wallet. The same flow that we just talked about a couple of minutes ago. And once that happens, you don't say now fund with cash. So for this particular instance, you say fund from another wallet, and then boom, you get a receive address or just a QR that you can just scan. Let's say now from my other wallets. How I wish I could do this, but I currently haven't like imported all my wallets to like the phone that I'm using at the moment. If I had like funds in another wallet, I'd just send them to this address and then see my balance also changing at the same time. So just imagine your users having this particular sort of experience simply because of one component from the base developer tools, and that's OnchainKit. So it's just that simple. Onboarding users shouldn't be like that hard. They should be able to like have the easiest time with regards to adding cash, spending their USDC on chain, swapping between tokens, and just utilizing your app on chain. So one thing about Base is the more activity that runs on your app, the more you bring people on chain, and the more you continue shilling your content, shilling what you do, you get rewarded for doing that. So if you're a builder, if you're a creator, there's always space for everyone. So at the moment, this is just a project that I created like OnChain Summer a couple of months ago, like 2 months ago. Right now, it's a full-age product with users, 500 plus users at the moment across all platforms. And it's solely OnchainKit handling the user onboarding. So that tells you how powerful OnchainKit is and how Base is being intentional with builders with regards to providing quality developer tools. Yes. So I think that's it with regards to OnchainKit facilitating like all these transactions back and forth, how you can go ahead and utilize it, how you can go ahead and even have it set up from a different point of things. If you're just creating an app, you just want probably to fund your users, to fund your users' gas fee. Actually, I forgot to mention about that. BasePay, in collaboration with OnchainKit, automatically handles Paymaster stuff. So that means you don't need to configure Paymaster manually. So it's automatically done if you're utilizing OnchainKit plus BasePay. So there's no manual configuration that you have to do with regards to going ahead and configuring like your expenditure on the CDP dashboard, getting to see what's happening at some points. If I could just share like the rate of cost that I've been receiving from my CDP dashboard, it's specifically for on-ramping. I have some few users when you're on a ramp, like just on ramp using the funding wallet thingy, and then they get to like fund their wallet. But at the moment, I don't have like any configuration with regards to Paymaster. it automatically happens. I tried like doing that. I haven't been seeing any activity on my dashboard with regards to Paymaster, but the RPC URL endpoint is actually getting lots of calls. So let me just sign into this so that you see um, how the user activity looks like when you begin utilizing OnchainKit for your various projects. So you can see here I have like total API requests, and the pink color actually illustrates or defines the number of on-ramps that you've been receiving. So I had some during September 15th to 18th, September 30th, and to October 6th. And now this is now the cool bit of things. So this now tells you the number of RPC requests that have been happening from your app. So that tells you all the activity that you've been getting over time, specifically using now OnchainKit, and how it has been like facilitating transactions in and out of your app. That's how cool Base is. That's how cool CDP is. For you to create a project, it's just that quick, fast, quite easy. There's a drop down over here, create a new project, generate API keys from this point. We actually had this yesterday during the foundations session. So it's more of a repetition at this particular point. So just create an API key, create a project. Once you're done, begin utilizing any sort of tool that you want. If it's payment, we have on-ramp and off-ramp transfers, XO2. There's the wallets. We have a server wallets. You can spin up wallets you own, fund your wallets, and do mass payouts. Same thing that happens now with Privy, but now with CDP, you even get rewards for creating server wallets. You can have a direct reference to the article that CDP just search CDP server wallets, get to read that article, get information of what can benefit you. Go ahead and just build something that people need on Base. Yeah, I think that's all that I had with regards to OnchainKit.
Chris,
Yes,
I want to ask two questions.
no problem.
So, first of all, I'm new to Base and the whole ecosystem. I even lost some money after accidentally deleting some passkeys of our smart wallet. So, first question I have is, when you're architecting your mini apps, what data do you throw to the like a Web2 database, and what gets handled to the smart contracts? And the other question I have is, I'm looking at the wallet island and the wallets that they have on offer, the options for getting like for bringing users to your app, the signing with Base, MetaMask, Phantom, and another wallet. Now, what if like I want to integrate other wallets, whether they are ERC, like EVM compatible or not? How do I go about that?
Awesome. So maybe just to begin with the first question, which was how OnchainKit gets to interact with all these other Web2 platforms. Let's say you have a database like you're utilizing Superbase for your database. You have OnchainKit also in the middle, and then you have your smart contract. So OnchainKit also has got like transaction statuses. So let's say, for example, myself, I'm using third-party APIs, and I need to get like statuses like success. For example, once funds have been released from the user's wallet, let's say using BasePay, they've confirmed, and it's already been confirmed also on chain. OnchainKit sends like transaction status, which is success. You can grab that event and then utilize that function onto your contract. Your contract will be able to like utilize those funds, or rather just burn it on chain, and then that user event at that moment will be able to be saved on your database on Superbase. So that's generally how the flow actually works. Majorly, it's checking on the statuses that you send on chain or that you receive on chain. How do you handle them now on the Web2 side of things? once you receive the event, what happens on your UI? Is it a transaction successful, a payment successful? And then once that is now up and running, do you want to save the user's event, or do you want to first of all save the status? Once the status have been saved, you give the user access now to the next step once it's now been saved on the database, and then afterwards now go ahead and then provide now UI feedback. That's generally how the flow is. And then secondly, I think you also asked about at the moment OnchainKit only offers like a few options for various wallet providers. Okay, for this, it's actually more of like the core wallets that people use on a daily. Let's say for Privy, at the moment, there's a partnership between Base and Privy. So right now, Base accounts can directly work with Privy, which is a huge win. If you check on most Web3 applications and platforms, it's either they're using Wallet Connect or it's either they're using Privy. So that's actually a huge win for both sides, from the base chain side of things and even for the builders as well, who are transitioning from Web2 to Web3. So that shouldn't be like a huge worry at the moment. And majority of people, it's either one, they'll be using like the MetaMask accounts for testing local products or for local projects testing. Two, if it's on a production scale or if it's something that's already in production, they prefer using either Phantom or Privy. So, or Wallet Connect, because Wallet Connect provides like various wallets at the same time, close to, I think it's even close to 300 or 400 wallets at the same time. So I think the question would be like, now for Wallet Connect, how do we get them to Base? And the answer would be, at the moment, you can't be doing that. Like, you can't be like utilizing Wallet Connect APIs. Currently, they've rebranded to Rion. So Rion, they would have like the same user flow with Privy, but now with them, it's quite much more direct. So if you're building like using Wallet Connect libraries, you get to be rewarded every week using, or rather utilizing Wallet Connect APIs. And where now Base comes in is because is the point where when the user now is prompted to connect their wallet, they normally have social logins, they have also email logging. And then on the wallet logging side of things, Coinbase Wallet is also one of the options. So it's not a blocker at the moment, but it's only a blocker if you want to have like Wallet Connect also now working together with the Privy components. So I prefer, if you still want to maintain like the Base side of things, like for me, I'm a Base maxi. So majorly, if you check Minisend, it's 100% OnchainKit components that are being utilized. So you can just create like a separate project, have Wallet Connect inside it, but have the primary option to log in or to send funds to be either, you can use True Social, you can use Gmail, you can use Google, and then lastly for the wallet side of things, include Coinbase Wallet. That will still be a win to users on Base. Yeah.
The reason I asked is because I have this idea where I want to get the emails for the users, so I can now start doing some targeted marketing.
Okay, then you'll just go ahead and utilize like Wallet Connect APIs first of all, and then with Wallet Connect you also get like a database for every single user who uses like the email login or email sign up to onboard your app. So that will still be a win for you. Just grab the emails, you send like blast emails once in a while. Don't spam your users with like marketing emails. So just grab like their emails during that social logging, and then you do now your thing with regards to now marketing.
Can it be like an app where they just sign up with their emails only, no wallets?
You can use Base accounts for doing that. I'll drop a link to that post on the Base EA dev study group. So if you're not there, I think Nelly, you can just drop it for everyone to just join in if they're not part of the group yet. The Base EA dev study group. I'll drop it immediately after this call so that you can just follow up what happened. Like it was just 2 weeks ago. So with that, you have like access to base account and even preview. So if the user goes ahead and uses now or picks on the base account option to continue or to onboard your application, you'd be able to like get their email because it will now be preview now picking up from there. So atakuwa meka email yake, and then with the email they get a confirmation code. Once they input that confirmation code, they're onto your app. It's just that simple. Yeah.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, no problem then. Any other question before we wind up? Yeah. Shauma, do you have like any addition with regards to what we discussed? Maybe just a short one because time is already far much spent.
Okay, I just have a question.
Okay, you can go on, Francis.
Okay, this is just a first one. Okay, I'm very new to Base and also to Web3. So I've been hearing conversations around Solidity, Rust. You have to have that. You have to have a concrete, great understanding of those languages before you proceed developing to maybe the, chains or platforms like Base. Yeah. Am I which language, or am I supposed to understand those languages in order to develop applications in the Base ecosystem?
Nelly, you can pick that.
Oh yeah, sure. So first of all, welcome to Web3. Also, so for Web3 majorly, even for Base, the language is Solidity. So you've heard of Solidity. So for Base, we're gonna be focusing solely on Solidity because it's an EVM compatible. So you can build on any EVM chain using Solidity. Rust is for other chains. I didn't get your second question.
Okay, the second question was about if should I have to know like a concrete understanding of the language in order to proceed to start developing on Base, something like that, or I can still start developing on Base as I continue improving my skills and also learning Solidity. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So if you're going to be writing smart contracts for your, I hope you know what smart contracts are, or you've heard of them.
Yes.
Perfect. So if you're going to be writing smart contracts, then that means that you'd have to know what you're writing, because one thing, you cannot maybe vibe code a smart contract. I mean, maybe you can, but at some point you really can't, because it's something on chain and something could go wrong and everything. So if you're going to be writing smart contracts, even maybe in your Web3 journey, maybe you want to go to Web3 security. If anyone is also from like a cybersecurity background, there's a way you could go to Web3 security. Then you have to have a solid understanding of the Solidity concept, and you're able to like write and read some Solidity code. So if you're going to be writing smart contracts, then that's inevitable. But for Base, like you've seen, the documentation is so good. You don't have to understand Next.js as much as maybe like as much as you've seen. The documentation is really straightforward and straight to the point. So if you maybe want to, if maybe an idea you have integrates OnchainKit, you just have it in seconds, working in seconds. You just have to maybe modify your UI, your front end to just tailor to what your project is gonna do. But for any Base OnchainKit, a mini kit, the docs are there to help you. There's also like, I think in the docs, there's an AI to help you just understand what's going on. But yeah, that is it. I don't know if I've answered your question.
Yes, I'm good. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you and welcome to Web3.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Nelly.
Chris,
Yeah.
you said that you are going to vibe code a smart contract or something.
No. We was going to vibe code the basic UI that we use to connect the front end.
Okay.
Yeah. For smart contracts, that a little bit tricky. You can't do that with AI. It's something that handles people's cash on chain. So any vulnerability could actually lead to loss of funds. Yeah, so let's show up again tomorrow for our day 3 session. Just before we wind up, I'd love to also give our best lead at East Africa to at least say a few words, and then we just wrap it up.
Hello, everyone. Thanks, Chris. Thank you, Nelly, and everyone else also who's attended. It's actually a great thing to connect, and also great progress for all of you who are joining. So building really is a skill, so you have to like develop it beyond the remaining 8 days of this program. Today was day 2, so we have 8 days left, and we'll be also getting guys to apply for base batches. That's for the builder track. I'd highly still recommend that you all apply. Even right now, just apply, create an account on the folio, apply on base batches, join the study group that we have created on Telegram, connect with any one of us here in terms of what you need for support. Everyone is ready to assist you. Thank you all for attending. And back to you, Chris and Nelly, and thank you.
Yes, I think that's all. Thank you so much, Eddie, once again. Yeah, Nelly.
Before we conclude, maybe tomorrow we might be covering either base accounts or maybe smart wallets. And just if you want to sponsor a gas for your users, maybe you could be covering that. But yeah, see you tomorrow, same time, same place.